Welcome to Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association. I'm here with head swimming coach Dane Pedersen. Dane, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
JMU returned last week from the Frank Elm Invitational hosted by Rutgers. The Dukes finished fourth in a tough field of 10 teams. What are your overall thoughts about the meet and the results?
I thought overall we did good. Just to give a overly simplistic answer to that question is I thought, we did a really, really good job, and I was really happy with where the girls were as we kind of step away from that meet and had the Thanksgiving break to kind of reflect on it and look back on our results and everything. Kind of breaking it down a little bit, I know to the outside observer, it's like, okay, 4th out of 10th, what does that really mean? We went there with a lot of goals, and none of them really depended on what our team placed. And I just say that, not that it wasn't important to compete, because it was, but our objectives more centered around what we were doing as a team. It was a prelim final meet, championship format, championship style of events, which is exactly what our conference championship lineup is like. So it's a good practice for that. So one of our goals was to, practice swimming prelims in the morning, which is where you can earn a swim at night. So one of our goals was to get more second swims, and we did a really good job doing that. Another goal was, once you get that night swim, and you have another opportunity to swim that event, you always want to swim faster, because that's where the points are awarded. And even though we weren't, trying to get a certain place from the team finish, that's good practice for our conference championships. And I thought we did a pretty good job there. We had some hits and some misses, so still some practice left to do there. But I think overall the girls did a really good job of, really applying themselves and changing something maybe from prelims to their final swim and trying to make sure that they swam faster. And then the third thing that we really try to focus on is it's a very long meet. We're talking about 6 sessions over 3 days. And it's hard to maintain your energy as a group, as a team. And so that was one of our really big focuses. It's easy for one session, something exciting happens and you kind of maintain that momentum and energy, but can you maintain it through 6 sessions, a morning and a night session, 3 days in a row? And I thought that the girls did an excellent job on that. I was really happy with how they performed there.
And you just touched on it a little bit, but the Invitational was 3 days with lots of events, including preliminaries. How does this affect the team's plan and the team's preparation, knowing that there are a lot of events as compared to a dual meet?
Yeah, when compared to a dual meet, a dual meet is quick and dirty. Like 2-3 hours, you're in and out, and it's one team versus the other team. Here, it's 3 days and 6 swimming sessions. The girls swam in 3 days more than 20,000 yards with warming up, warming down, and racing. To put that in perspective, that's over 11 miles of swimming. It's somewhere between 11 and 12 miles of swimming. Within that, they all race somewhere between 1,000 to somewhere. Our distance swimmers swam up, almost 3,000 yards of racing. So you're talking about 1 to 3 miles of racing. So to put that all in perspective, that's a lot on their bodies. With that said, we didn't really do anything different. This is a training meet for us. We don't pull up, we don't rest, we don't taper, and everybody does something different, but that's just our training philosophy. So the girls were tired. We left Thursday afternoon, and Thursday night we did a lift and a practice, and then we got on the bus and then traveled up there, and then the meet started Friday. So the girls were tired, their bodies were tired. Mentally, they had to really step up and overcome all of that. So, and like I said, as we were talking about earlier, I thought they did a really good job doing that. We had a lot of fast swims. We had a lot of exciting things going on. So, we didn't, to answer your question, we didn't really do anything different. We trained appropriately. We didn't, kind of stayed on schedule, so to speak.
And then the team does have some time off to relax from the competition, but will still be training. With your next home meet and senior day being on versus Richmond on January 16th, what does the next few weeks look like in terms of training?
In training, it stays pretty consistent here. We do have to take into account that we have finals week coming up, and the girls are going to be super stressed. It's kind of nice this year because our Christmas break is only 3 weeks instead of 4 weeks. So we actually got an extra week of training just naturally before the academic stress started happening. As any JMU student knows, the week before finals is almost as stressful, if not more stressful, than finals week, because you've got classes, and then you've got final papers and final projects and group presentations and all of that going on. And then some teachers are trying to hold finals earlier and yada, yada, yada. And it's really, really busy. So next week is obviously the week before finals. And then the week after that is finals week. So we're really looking to maintain the high level of training that we're doing. You know, I told the girls it's not going to be any harder than it already has been. But at the same time, it's not like they're going to get done with every practice and be like, oh, that was easy. That was awesome. You know, it's still going to be tiring and challenging both mentally and physically. But, you know, in the upcoming weeks, next week, and especially finals week, we really try to balance knowing that their bodies are going to be under stress just through studying for finals, worrying about their academics, staying up late, you know, focusing on all of that stuff on the academic side. So there's definitely a balance. And then after that, all bets are off. We're on Christmas break. We get them here for a couple of days, and then they're going to go home and be with their families over Christmas. And then we'll rendezvous down in Florida for our kind of Christmas training trip. And down there, it's a lot of fun because it's warm and it's sunny and we're outside and it's 75 degrees, but it's also really, really hard training. So, but they always do a good job of it. So it's kind of an unusual training cycle because there's so much going on in and out of the water, but, you know, it goes by really quickly. And before we know it, it'll be January and we'll be gearing up for the final run and getting ready for our championship season.
And you mentioned it. Talk a little bit more about that Florida training trip and what all comes with that.
A lot of training, a lot of sleep, and a lot of eating. That's pretty much what it boils down to. The great thing about Florida is school is done. The semester is over. That stress is behind them, and they haven't started a new semester. So the new stress of classes and professors and workload isn't on them. So they have that kind of to relax them. They've just been home for 8 days to celebrate Christmas and be around family and friends. And, you know, so they've kind of fulfilled that. And so they get to Florida and they're kind of rejuvenated and energized. Even though they've been training while they've been at home, they're kind of excited to see one another. And of course, they're really excited to be in the sun. And we train outdoors and we train pretty much 3 times a day. So they wake up in the morning, they do a dry land or a lift, then they do a 2-hour water workout. Then they have kind of the afternoon off, and we usually go to the beach if it's nice, or they just sleep. And then we have a 2-hour afternoon training session. So they're training about 5 hours a day. And then after that, they go to sleep, and then they wake up and do it all over again. But like I said, it's a lot of fun. The girls, it's a big bonding experience for the girls, and it's, other than championship time, it's my favorite part of the year. Not just because the practices are hard, but because it's fun just to be around them and have no other pressures or stresses other than just to kind of train and enjoy being around each other.
Well, Dane, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck in the next couple weeks.
Thank you.